Fuck it. I don't have an intro made, so let's just do some wannabe gangster shit real quick. Fuck it. Let's go.
Welcome to Nahh, covering sports of all sorts. If there's any breaking news, you know we got the report. Our one and only goal is to make this your podcast resort. Get you your favorite team updates, both on and off of the court. Breaking down everything, NFL, NBA, MMA. Not much a soccer fan, but might even cover Team USA. Is KD leaving Golden State? Is Jordan really the GOAT? Is LeBron comfortable in LA? We'll keep the team afloat. If GSP fights Khabib, will he fight him toe to toe? And a Wilder Fury rematch, who's always gonna go? We'll cover everything and anything you wanna know. Whatever it may be, we'll break it all down on the show.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Nahh Podcast. I'm your host, Sani Nahh. I know it has been a couple weeks, but we are back, and today I am doing another fighter interview segment. Today, my guest is a professional MMA fighter and MMA vet, and most recently, PFL's first middleweight tournament winner, my man, Lewis Taylor. How you doing, brother?
I'm all good. Thanks for having me on. Ready to roll into this 2020. Hope everything's going well for you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you for coming on and joining me, brother. I know it was kind of short notice, but I appreciate it.
Oh, no problem. No problem. It's in the life we live.
Yes, sir. All right. So, let's get rolling. Before we get into the usual combat sports questions, for everyone, including myself, who may not know your story, can you tell us a little bit about like your upbringing and just life before you chose the path of fighting?
Well, I try not to be too much of a cliche. Honestly, I got that typical sob story you always hear. My mom was addicted to drugs. I didn't really know my dad. I grew up in a fucked up neighborhood. Crime, drugs, the whole nine. That is my story. But
and you said you grew up in Chicago, right?
Yeah, Chicago, Southside, Inglewood. But again, most importantly about myself is not where you come from, it's where you're going.
Definitely. You had your pro debut in 2007, correct?
Yes, sir.
So I ain't too good at math. That's why I'm trying to make it with this whole YouTube shit. But with you being 40 now, that would mean you was 27 or 28 when you started.
Yeah, I was about 28. I had came up out of school. And I was coaching high school wrestling, and I just felt that when you're supposed to be in a place where where you're kind of done. I still felt like that wasn't for me, and I had more to give. So I literally just quit. I was eating breakfast. I looked across the street. I saw a little BJJ Bushido gym. I walked in over there. 3 months later, I was having my first amateur fight. About a year after that, I was having my first pro fight.
Oh shit. So what was it? Obviously 27 isn't old by any means, but when you compare it to many of the other fighters that got started, it's a lot later. What was it that really made you decide to take that step and take that step into that gym?
I had been around a few successful fighters at the time, Rampage, Brock Lesnar, Matt Hughes, and a few others, Brian Ebersol. I can just keep dropping, names.
This is from wrestling?
Yeah, this is from my wrestling background.
Gotcha.
And at the end of the day, I just realized that, I'm seeing their success, and I knew they was never much better than me if they were better than me at all. And right. I knew that as I started to get a better understanding of the sport, I knew that the style of fighting and wrestling that I had would go well with this sport, because I don't do a lot of, blast up. I just knew my style would work well. And plus I grew up on the South Side, so I had a lot of experience with street fights.
Right.
And I knew I was always a natural at that. And so, like us, at 28, which was late in life, but like I tell a lot of people, even right now, I get people reaching out to me and going, man, bro, am I too old? I'm like, bro, I started at 28. You're only as old as your mind tells you. And so it's up to you
Right.
to dictate what you can do and what you can accomplish. Unfortunately, I got in the sport at a bad time. There was the boom of the MMA, sport.
Right. It was like right before it just started taking off.
Yeah, but at that time when I first started, I should have got in it earlier. I was still on the fences. When I finally did decide to get involved, it slowed down drastically, like really bad. When I started, you can kind of scale your career. And so that's the way I looked at it. And I had planned on being retired by the time I was 36. And but the way
even when you started at 27, you planned
when I started at 27, 28, I thought, I was going to give it a couple years. I was really just trying to make time for my background crimes to be erased so I can move forward in my life.
Gotcha.
And that was a good route to not, to chase my dreams, for about 8 years. So I can then, go move forward that way. But when I started, you would start out at 200, 400, 500, you can kind of anticipate what you would make. Mm-hmm. Then all of a sudden there was just a huge flood of all these eager teenagers trying to get into the sport. I'll fight for free. I'll fight for anything. And they just like literally destroyed the current market for pay systems. Then
it just made everyone look bad pretty much.
So you got people like myself who you wasn't a star, and even if you were, and the thing is, they don't understand, like, because you guys are coming into this sport with no value on yourselves, you're making it hard for other people to set a value. So where they used to come in and they would set a card, and they used to have to, put a decent card up. Now they'll just throw anybody on it. They'll throw 14 local kids and tell those local kids to go sell tickets, and we'll give you 20, 30%. And then literally, do they know that these local kids and fighters are actually doing a promoter's job? The promoter don't even got to do nothing now, because if each kid sells 50, 60 tickets, they're good.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's become the market that has since carried the sport. But before that time, you had sponsors, you had just a better market scene, overall. But now when those kids came in, and all those people who watched that, the boom of Rock'em Sock'em Robots of Forrest Griffin and Stephen Barber,
I was about to say,
and they just wanted to do it, but they didn't really chart out a path to do it.
Right, they didn't understand it.
No, they didn't understand their value. And so myself being a veteran, and even though I wasn't really a veteran, I had to, some promoters would come to me and be like, yo, I give you 250 and 250. I'm like, bro, that's not even enough money to pay, the few months of training, let alone, that I've done. That's not even enough money to pay my medical bills.
Training right there.
That's not even enough money to pay your medical bills. And even to this day, the same scheme is being ran on all these young kids. And no one's around to really teach them, because, the youth, they know it all.
Of course.
And they don't.
It's worse now. I work in a fucking middle school, bro. So it is worse. It is so bad.
And and at the end of the day, if these youth will look for mentors, it would be a lot better. But since all of them are just trying to do it on their own, they know everything, and you're the old guy, get out our way. I just step back and watch them screw themselves. I'm like,
of course.
Yeah.
So what middle school? Say again?
I said, what middle school are you at?
I'm working at Rogers Park Middle School in Danbury, Connecticut. It's actually the old middle school that I used to go to. So I'm the IT over there. I don't have like any one-on-one time with the kids or anything, but I see it all. You know what I mean? And it's getting a little crazy. And like the way it's set up, I'm not even allowed to talk to the kids You know what I mean? Or
interact with them.
yeah, I can't do none of that. Like if I walk in a hallway and like two kids are fighting, I can't do anything about it. It's insane. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
I
And like
know.
someone like me, like they would want me to be the one to do something about it, and it's fucked up. But
But you
you
know,
know what I mean?
it's actually better for you because it's a liability for you that you don't want, you know?
Oh, of
Because
course. Oh no, I was just
nowadays,
restrained. I don't want.
yeah,
I'm not gonna
I
German
know, but
suplex someone.
nowadays you can't touch a kid without being sued.
Right.
So it's almost,
Yeah.
you know,
At all. Right. Right.
the
The
same
moment.
the same mother that wants you to save their kid don't want you to touch their kid.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
You
Definitely.
know?
Yeah. Yeah. Is my camera bugging out for you on your end, or are you all good?
Yeah. We froze.
Oh, we're good now.
No, we're froze. You're still froze.
Oh, I'm still frozen. You don't see none. All right. Let me call you right back, brother.
All right.
Cool. All right. So yeah, we can move on from that. Like I said, you've competed in, for 10 years now and damn near every organization in the fucking game. Um, and most recently, your last bout was in the PFL tournament, where you won the middleweight tournament. How would you describe your time in PFL compared to all of the other organizations that you fought in?
I've had a unique experience of at least at some point being signed by even the UFC to the top to the bottom. But like I said, I think the PFL they treat their fighters the best. I mean, of course the UFC does because they have a bigger budget, but
But
like
do they?
no, I'm saying like the PFL, like I was there before when they transitioned from the WSOF into
Oh no, I was talking about UFC. Like, do they treat
yeah,
these
they do. I
fighters
mean,
good?
but as you see, even currently, every year there's a couple fighters leaving the UFC to take their shot in the PFL.
Oh yeah, a lot
Recently,
of them.
you had Roy McDonald leave Bellator
Oh
to
yep.
come take his shot in the PFL. Unfortunately, the illusion of being in the UFC or in Bellator is thinking that you're better than the people who are not.
Right away, right.
And I've yet to see one of the fighters who've left the bigger organizations and crossover win the PFL tournament yet.
Right,
They've
right.
all been done.
Mhm.
So although the money looks enticing, you still got to come in here and win.
Yeah.
And the talent, although it might not be the household name, but talent is still good talent. And
Oh yeah.
the worst mistake you can make as a fighter on the streets or in the cage is overlooking competition.
Honestly, like I always say, every time me and my friends talk, a lot of my friends are like the casual MMA watchers, which they just watch UFC and shit. And I tell
Yeah,
them all the time, man, like honestly, the best fighter in the world is probably someone that nobody even knows right now. You know what I mean?
exactly.
And
Yeah,
someone that most people probably will never know.
yeah. I mean, even for myself, no matter what, like I would tell people, I always would knock people out or submit them or whatever. But if it's not on the right stage at the right time, no one cares.
Right, right.
And that's just for me. I had a couple bad fights in Strikeforce that just bad luck for one, and the other with Joe Riggs, where just inexperience and like I said, but you people tend to wash you down the drain with your blemishes. But I always been wrecking shop and destroying people. And that's why I knew when I saw the PFL format, me and my boys looked at each other like, we finna get this money. We finna get this belt, because for my style of fighting, I'm like an 80% finisher. So to get rewarded for finishing people, that's what I do. I'm not a decision fighter. Either you beat me or I beat you. I'm not interested in going to the judges.
Do they give you bonuses and shit too?
Nah, you don't. That would have been lovely. I would have had a couple, but they don't. That's something that the UFC does. But if they pay people better, then they wouldn't have to.
Right.
And would I like some bonuses in the WSOF or PFL? Yeah, because I got the fastest submission, I got the fastest KO. I even got the fastest punch. So yeah, I've been breaking records, that people don't care about. But again, I'm not gonna diminish my own accomplishments because no one else is recognizing them.
I got you. What was it that that really like made you like set your mind straight on going into the PFL tournament? Like, what was
No,
it? Was it the money or?
No, it was the format at the end. That pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. But
Of course, it just made it more fun.
No, little did I know though, 5 fights in 5 months is fucking hard. It's hard on your body. It's hard, and that's the thing I tell people. I'm like, you think to go one fight and then 5 weeks later you got another fight. You know, it moves really fast. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you don't have time to heal.
Right.
You know,
that's what I was gonna ask you.
You don't have time.
You were healthy
to
that
heal.
whole time.
So like I had injuries, concussions,
Shit.
I had deaths. You don't have time to mourn. You don't have
that
time
whole 5
to heal.
months.
In that whole 5 months, you don't have time for nothing but getting busy and staying focused on the fight game. I had funerals I didn't make it to. I had, one of my friends got his brains blew out. I couldn't,
Sorry,
I couldn't, rest in peace, Jeff. I couldn't make it to his funeral. I had people looking at me sideways for stuff like that. I'm like, bro, I'm focused on this path, and you gotta have tunnel vision when you're chasing your dreams.
Of course.
You gotta have that Mamba mentality. Rest in peace.
Yes, sir. Oh, man. Damn it, I was trying not to bring that up at all, but you got me fucked up real quick.
Oh my God.
No, you good.
Let it go.
Shit. But so in your final
Yes,
matchup
sir.
with the tournament, you finished your opponent in just over. Oh shit, we good?
We staticky, but it's a poor connection. We'll see.
Oh, all right.
Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you. We good?
Yeah,
No?
I'm good.
Oh, okay. So in the final matchup of the tournament, you finished your opponent in just over 30 seconds of the fight. What did that $1 million moment feel like right after you landed that punch and walked off? I watched it again this morning, and like I could tell like it kind of didn't even set in at
breaking
first.
up. Hit me back.
Oh shit! All right. My bad. It's usually better than this. I definitely jinxed it when I said the quality was better. Though. But all right.
Oh, for sure. Oh yeah.
My bad. What were you gonna?
We good. I was making sure we good before I spoke about how it felt to walk off from that last fight. It felt like redemption. I had been in the same predicament 2 years earlier when I fought David Branch, and I took an L. And at the time, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Check. Go.
No, can't hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right, okay. I had lost the connection over here. But at the time I was coming off that loss 2 years ago, which again, losing to David Branch was my first loss in 6 years. So you're talking to someone who's lost once in the last 8 years. But again, they quickly flushed my chances of winning this tournament down the toilet. The UFC, between the transition for the WSOF, I was talking with them about, fighting for them, trying to, but every offer they made me was almost like disrespectful,
Right.
Like take this fight on 1 week's notice, 2 weeks notice, here 1 fight contract, you know what I mean? Just like not even a proper 4-fight contract. Like, you want me to fight on short notice, at least give me the chance to come back and fight again if I lose this short fight notice. But so I ended up just waiting it out, and it was the right decision for me.
I got you. No. The question was like in that final matchup, once you landed that knockout punch, that $1 million punch, what was that feeling like? Like, did it set in? Like,
no,
that you just won all that money real quick, or you were just like, fuck it?
It didn't really set in for days because I was never in the fight for the money.
Gotcha.
I was in a fight for the belt. And a lot of people.
Oh, did you get a belt for that too?
Yeah.
The actual middleweight belt?
You got the middleweight belt. For me, it was about for me, it was about achieving a middleweight belt and that world title, that at a person at 40, you want to have something to say you accomplished after you just dedicated 10, 11, 12 years of your life to something.
Gotcha.
I mean, money, money comes and goes, but those world titles are few. Only one.
That's engraved forever.
Yes, sir.
Gotcha. So obviously some people are more personal with their, talking about their money and shit, and you don't have to answer this, but what are your plans to do with the money? Are you going to spoil yourself, put it away, or put it towards something?
I'll tell you this, the good part about being in this game so long and having longevity is knowing how little, how much of an amount. People think $1 million is a lot. It's really nothing. Not nothing, but it's not what people think it is. And so for me, I did what I said I was going to do. I put some money to the side for my 401k. I put some money for my kids' college, and I paid off my house. And now I'm just looking to make smart investments. I'm in a Ford Fusion right now, 2014. A 2014 Ford Fusion that was paid off long before that fight. So I haven't bought anything.
That's awesome, man. That's fucking awesome. Last question about combat sports, and then we'll get into the random shit. I read that you planned to join the welterweight tournament last year for PFL, but you pulled out before it started. What was the reasoning for that?
The reasoning was the New York Commission didn't give me, the New York Athletic Commission didn't relicense me. They, New York is a state that never really wanted MMA there.
Right.
And
dude, it's horrible in New York now. So, even now that it's a thing, it's still horrible.
It is. And if you pay attention, any competitor or competition that's trying to host in New York for MMA, it's really difficult. It's a really difficult process. Hopefully the PFL moves away from New York and I can rejoin my family within that PFL organization.
Right.
Which they did end up doing. If you notice, they moved a lot of the shows to Vegas. Mm-hmm. And that's why, because just dealing with New York was costing them fighters like myself and a couple other fighters who got axed out for random stupid reasons, for laws on the book that only New York has,
Which at the end of the day, fuck them at the same time, the organization.
Exactly. At first, see, I was a part of the show, was going to be the first show. So when they found out, they thought it was just going to be me. Like, oh, well, we don't want to move the shows for just one fighter. Then it was another fighter and another fighter. Then they like, wait, y'all messing up our bread here. Because
right.
You end up with a bunch of people on the roster who wasn't supposed to be on the roster.
Yeah, it's all right at the wrong time too, like out of nowhere and shit. Ugh.
Yeah, I found out like a week or two, So like I said, that's all that happened. It's just dealing with the New York Athletic Commission and what rules they have on the books. But again, I'm fine. I'll look at the market internationally. I'm hopefully Bellator. I'm really liking them right now. We'll see what's up. I would love to take part in their middleweight tournament whenever they decide to have it.
Awesome. So off of combat sports now, this is more of a personal question for me. Obviously, I've always noticed your Instagram username is Put the Guns Down Taylor.
Yes.
Can you elaborate a little more on the name itself? It kind of speaks for itself, but
it does. It was one of those names. Put the guns down. Again, I'm from Chicago. I'm from the South Side. I'm from Inglewood. If all of those things come with high murder rate, high gun violence. And my original stage name is Handguns. And it's Lewis Handguns Taylor, but then you got those people who kind of looked at me sideways, like, why is he promoting guns?
Right.
And I'm like, no,
Chicago and shit too.
But then you would have to explain to people like, yo, I'm not promoting guns. I'm promoting handguns, like hands over guns. Don't get hit with these handguns. But people didn't ever want to look into things that deeply.
Of course.
They just take it for what they see. So I was just like, I was talking with Bilal Muhammad. I'm like, how can we come up with something that'll get the same message across, but still give me what I'm that what I'm looking for. And so we just went with put the guns down. It's straightforward. It's a blunt message. There's literally put the guns down foundations around my neighborhood. So it's tried and true to a message that we're trying to preach to the youth, that there's another way besides gun violence.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it speaks for itself. But I just wanted to really hear it. But so it's hard for, like you just mentioned, Bilal. It's hard for anyone to not notice the type of friendship that you and him have. I'm also a fan of Bilal. Shout out Bilal. Where did that start?
Actually, I was his high school wrestling coach.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, and then when I left high school wrestling to become a fighter, and I started fighting for Strikeforce, and he saw my name in the papers, he was like, "Yo, he was actually a University of Illinois student," and he was like, "Yo, I want to do this fight stuff too. Like, that's my coach. I see him on in the papers." This is a little bit before internet even got cracking, so the newspaper was your internet back then. People forget how fast time is just like blown,
bruh. Oh my God.
10 years ago, we wasn't on social media. We were actually picking up a newspaper to find out, or watching it on television. Mm-hmm. But anyway, so he got in contact with me through Facebook. I told him check out the gym, and the kid's just a sponge, man. Anything I would teach him, he would just like immediately pick it up and use it against me. And that's the thing. Like, I would, we could be sparring, and I could hit him with something tricky. He'd be like, "Oh, I like that." 5 minutes later, he'll hit me back with the same move. I'd be like, "You bastard!" Like, you gotta respect it. And and the kid he loves to use things that work, and he never stops. His hunger for the knowledge of martial art is still there. And now he's 4 or 5 days a week. He's out at Duke Rufus Sports with Duke Rufus and Daniel Wanderlei and a bunch of other young lions such as Anthony Pettis. And then me and him, we get together, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and we put in our work here. But it's just been just him continually to follow the lead, and then him leading as the leader he will be, and then me just continue to have his back.
Gotcha. Now, if you can, is there any ridiculous story that you feel comfortable telling me with you and Bilal real quick?
My entire life is ridiculous, so I don't know which one. You gotta lead me into something.
No. Between you and Bilal, something that you guys got into that's just ridiculous and hilarious. No, I mean, because I know there's a million stories I could just tell.
It always is, but I'll bring them up since we're talking about the PFL. In between, when I had me and John Howard, we went to a decision. And I inadvertently threw a knee at Howard, and it landed in his head. He was okay. It was one of those ones that you would throw in practice, and oh, you good, and you continue going. But Howard wanted to milk it and act like he couldn't continue so he can get the easy win in a fight that I was dominating. Mm-hmm. And they had us in the cage for like 14 minutes while we waited on the decision. So, and at this moment, I'm knowing what the decision is going to be. It's going to favor Howard. So I'm pissed. I'm just, and after a while, I'm about to explode. I'm trying not to do it publicly. So I'm trying to make my way through the locker room and out the cage. And me and Bilal don't fight a lot, but then you got like Ray Sefo, you got the CEOs trying to stop me. And I'm like, get the fuck out of my way. I'm pushing through. Bilal's grabbing me. I'm pushing him, and I'll never put my hands on him. But he finally gets through to me like, Luke, get back in the cage. It's not over. And I'm like, okay. So I turn around, I get back in the cage, and who knows, if Bilal and them don't grab me, maybe I don't become the PFL middleweight world champion of 2018.
Now, if you what happened at the end of that? Because I don't even remember when you went back in that Doomsday fight.
Oh no, it went to the decision. It went to
it actually did go to decision. Oh, okay.
It went to decision, but because of the PFL format, they went with the person who won the first round, which was me. And so that's how that worked out. And so I advanced.
That's crazy. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
it was
Oh shit!
a,
When you said
a
he
nutty
was trying to
moment.
milk it, I thought he was like trying to find a way
No,
out and they were gonna stop it, kind of
no.
thing.
I mean, me and him talked about it, and it's understandable. You're losing 2 rounds in a 3 round, and it was like literally with like 8 seconds left and going into the third, and I had pretty much beat his ass for the whole first and second round. So if in your mind it's not looking like you're gonna turn the tides, he would have needed like a one punch. But in my mind, I was kind of pissed at him because I'm like, bro, even with if they take a point from me right now, if you continue, that at least gives you the second round or makes it even. Now it's
Right,
at
right,
least 1-1. Now it's
right.
1-1 going into the third. But instead of taking his chances on going into the third, you're gonna act like you can't finish the fight. Come on now.
Right. Yeah. That's
Um,
just that ain't right.
but
That-
but again, karma's a bitch, and it worked for me in my favor.
Fact. Fact. All right. Are you a football fan?
A little bit, not
A little
major.
bit.
If the Bears are doing well, then I'm a football fan. But as you can see, for the last decade, yeah.
I'm an Eagle fan, bro, so I feel you. I mean, we just got our Super Bowl win, so I'm gonna hold on to that for the next
I'm
20,
about to
30
say,
years.
you can't talk. You can't talk because the only thing you could talk about is them not letting Kevin Hart on the podium. That was terrible.
I don't know if you can even see over the thing, man.
It
So
don't matter. But Kevin Hart being stopped by the little Barney Fife security was terrible.
I don't know, man. He was half past drunk, so I mean, maybe it was a
don't
good.
matter. If you can't make it to the level of Kevin Hart and go where you want to go in life, then
You're
something's wrong.
right. You're right. And it's Philly, so yeah, they should have
And
gave
it's
it.
Philly.
They should
And
have.
it's Philly.
Did you hear his shit? He was like, "Fuck, I'm taking a piece of the turf."
I know. You know.
That
And
man's
so
a
I mean,
fool, man.
we all wanna make it some. If I mean, come on now. Now
No,
I
I
understand.
definitely feel you. I feel you, 100%. Do
Oh,
you have a
good.
pick for the Super Bowl though?
Oh man, who you going with?
Honestly, I originally said that it was going to be the Ravens versus San Fran, but now that the Ravens
That ain't
are out,
happening. Yeah.
now that the Ravens are out and it's the Chiefs has been going stupid on offense. And San Fran is all about defense and how long can the greatest defense of the NFL put up? You know what I mean? How long can they last?
I'm thinking the Chiefs. I'm really surprised to even see San Fran in there. I mean, they was literally fighting for a quarterback a year ago, and now they're in the Super Bowl. I'm like, what the hell? How does this happen?
It's fucking defense. They're fucking crazy.
But again, I would have loved to see Kaepernick at the helm of the San Francisco, but I'm gonna leave that alone. But I'm gonna go with the Chiefs, man. I'm gonna keep it sweet. They got the only mulatto brother up in there. I'm gonna roll with him.
I'm crazy. Shit. All right, last question. Are you a big fan of comedy movies?
Oh yeah. I love comedy.
Gotcha. So me and my buddies, we've been going back and forth recently, like the last couple weeks, about our like favorite top comedy movies of all time, and that's a hard ass choice. But if I were to ask you off the top of your head, name the top 5 comedy movies that you would watch, what would you say?
God dang, that's a hard.
Just off the top of your head. It doesn't even have to be like a set list. You could change it tomorrow, but right now.
Yeah. I'm just thinking. I'm gonna say Half Baked is one of my favorite.
That's number 5 for me.
I can't remember. I say the name wrong. The end of the world. The world is end.
This is the end.
This is the end.
Bro, man. Yo, that's my number 1 favorite movie.
That one was freaking hilarious. And then let me see. Oh man, it's hard. I'm gonna just go with the black comedies. I'm gonna go with Harlem Nights. I'm gonna go with
You like Superbad?
Superbad. Yeah, that was cool. I wouldn't put it in my top though. But I'm a little stuck. It's been a long day. Let me see. Comedies that I love. I'm gonna go with something off the radar. Let's go with Major Pain with Damon Wayans. That was a stupid one. And I'm gonna go with let me see another funny as comedy that I could watch anytime. Oh, I gotta go with Friday.
Okay, I got you. So what did you say? What was the first one?
The first one was
It's a
Half Baked.
Half Baked. This is the end.
Harlem Nights,
Harlem Nights,
Major Pain,
Major Pain.
and I forgot the last one I just said. Fudge. It's in the recording.
Yeah, it's in the recording. It's all right. People can go back. All right, man. To end it off, is there anybody or anything combat sports now that you want to give a quick shout out to end the segment?
Oh no, just shout out to my day ones: Roberto Ramirez, Herc Hayes, Bilal Muhammad, Nick Casio Sanchez, my wife Susan, my mom, my family. Shout out to everybody. Be sure to follow me at Put the Guns Down Taylor at Instagram. I'm not that boring, just like this man below me. Nah, we not that boring. Keep it. We gonna try to be. We gonna not be. We gonna keep it. We gonna keep it funny every day. Even though the world has a bunch of drama, but we appreciate y'all checking in on us.
We'll make it through. We make it through.
Yes, sir.
Hey man, hey brother. Thanks again, man. I know, like I said, I know it was last minute, and I know we restarted like 3 times. I appreciate your patience and everything.
Oh, no problem, bro. But
I hope you had a good time, man.
Day. Thanks for checking in, bro. I'll talk to you soon.
Definitely, brother. Have a good day, man.
You too.
Yo.